If you want to lose weight, look here. Not only does it allow you to unshackle and enjoy nature, and someone to exercise within the rain while encouraging you, emotional value that is directly pulled full. You can even eat the cleanest mushrooms. The medical staff observe the whole time. Make sure your body is healthy and safe. What are you waiting for? You sure you don't want a card? This is the rainforest of Malaysia. Frequent rain has become the norm. It also has all kinds of delicious food. Definitely better than a chicken leg in your hand. It's up to you to get it. Eat a mushroom and watch a little man dance. What's more special is this snake. One bite is all it takes to meet Mamie. Most of the area hasn't been visited yet. Let me see who the lucky ones are. Frando, all smiles, was pleased with this. He's an active firefighter. Take the time off to experience it. Whether it's physical fitness or survival skills. Think you're better than everyone else. The only thing I worry about is going hungry. I hope to see this challenge through. His partner, Munsa, was nervous. I know some survival skills though, but I don't know if I can adapt to the environment. And a little worried about the kids at home. Munsa was very anxious about it. The first time I met a stranger naked, everybody's going to be a little embarrassed. Frando wants him to take it easy, or you'll get nervous yourself. Munsa wants her partner to jump right into the challenge. Don't indulge in beauty. Work together to see the challenge through. Soon the two came to meet. It was awkward at first. I didn't know what to say after I gave each other names. Take the time to dive into the challenge. A machete with a firearm. In theory, we could make a home in the rainforest. I wonder if the camera will get any interesting footage. According to the map, they need to go deep into the jungle. Follow rivers to find fresh water. After 21 days here, continue along the river to the extraction point. It's a little easy though, but it's a long way. They got good ratings from the show. I'm just a little worried about my experience with the rainforest. They had hardly gone a few steps when it rained. The challenge instantly increased a lot. Now the water is so cloudy. I wouldn't know a snake was walking around. Every now and then, you kick a tree branch or something. Can only swim faster. Frando was pleased with his partner's performance. At least not by the rain. Try to swim to the other side. Fortunately, the rain didn't last long. They don't have to worry about flooding for a while. It's just puddles everywhere. If you're not careful, you'll fall into it. Although Frando kept talking to ease the awkwardness. But Munsa was sick of listening to it for too long. Living in the rainforest means you don't get cold. We have to find a way to keep the fire alive. They had a hard time finding a dry, open place. After a brief discussion, we decided to camp here. There's only a few hours left before dark. The two split up to speed up the shelter. Nearby materials are easier to gather. It's just that it's really hard to walk around with all the mud. He's been possessed by leeches from time to time. Before it's too deep, we got to get this off of here. Otherwise, the leeches will stay there. This wound hasn't been there very long. They've already attracted the mosquitoes. I hope you don't catch any diseases, do you? What can Munsa do about it? Just ignore it and get back to work. They worked in this way until dark. The shelter is just a frame. I just had to find a place to sleep in the end. The roof above is not ready yet. If it rains in the middle of the night, it's all over. Although the two kept praying it wouldn't rain. But reality slapped them in the face. The rain scared that it was quite heavy. There's not a dry place on my body. Don't talk about getting a good night's sleep tonight. It's good enough to get a little sleep. How do they stay up until dawn? It never stops raining here. Can only endure the pain to collect materials. Fredo can cut himself with bamboo. Fortunately, the wound wasn't deep, or we're gonna have to call the doctor. I'm afraid of attracting leeches. Always keep an eye on yourself. I really don't want to add any pendants. At least get the roof done today. Then we'll see if the fire has a chance to light. But just weaving bamboo is tiring enough. The thing that really bothered Munsa was the leeches in her privates. It's really unfriendly to people here. I just want to soak it in disinfectant. If it rains again, I'm not sure I can make it to the end. And Frando was sick of leeches too. But he can face difficulties with a smile. This positive attitude is worth learning from. Munsa was so jealous of his state. I'm kind of freaking out anyway. The only good thing about a rainy day is not worrying about thirst. You can get water anywhere. It doesn't take time to build a fire. Frando thinks a rainy day is more compatible with survival. Munsa is a lot more negative. She doesn't think rainy days are good. Whether this challenge can be accomplished much depends on how long Frando can hold out. There's still a lot of material needed to finish the roof. There's no time for small talk. Speed up the collection setup process. Munsa doesn't look so good right now. None of the smiles I had when I got here. The body is freezing. I feel like I'm in a refrigerator. She's not as strong as Frendo. If the temperature continues like this, there's going to be a lot of physical problems. I'll have to throw it in the fire. Frando knew it was bad. Can only encourage her through words. I'm sure things will get better once the shelter is ready. Now try to get your body moving. It'll make you feel so much better. Frando says he can do the job himself. Munsa went around to warm herself up. I have to say, having him as a teammate, it's really reassuring. Frando also taught Munsa a set of fast-warming exercises. Move at your own pace. This will help prevent hypothermia. Just a few minutes of exercise. Munsa feels a lot better about that. At least not as cold and shivering as before. Boy, you can get fit in the wilderness. Sisters who want to lose weight, come and sign up. Munsa was moved by Frendo's positivity. If the photographer wasn't around, I want to rush up and hug myself. Looks like Munsa's doing a lot better. Frando went on to complete the shelter. He wants his partner to get better. Finish the challenge together and get out of here. After 2 days of busy work, the shelter is finally complete. The two lay inside without fear of getting wet. Wait till we get a chance to fix the fire back there. They don't have to worry about waking up in the middle of the night. Day 3 of the challenge. It's raining harder and harder. No intention of stopping at all. So they lay in bed and rested. It didn't stop raining for the 6th day. Going on like this is not an option. The belly is always protesting. I feel like I got punched in the gut. And Munsa just had to keep putting up with it. Drink more rainwater to relieve it. Frando really wanted a fire to keep him warm, just waiting for a dry time to come. It was unbearable on the 8th day. Even though it's raining outside, I had to find something to eat. After a brief discussion, we set off together. Although the situation on the ground is pretty bad, but it doesn't affect how they find food. Look at the snake lying there in the tree. Frando came right over to check it out. That's pretty experienced at catching snakes themselves, even in the face of highly venomous snakes. He'd grab it with his hands. As long as the head is under control, there's nothing dangerous about this snake. Munsa immediately handed the knife to her. Frando finally succeeded in harvesting food. Now here's the problem. How can the snake cook without fire? You can't eat it raw. They don't have much time to make a fire. Meat rots quickly in these conditions, even with a firearm in your hand. But it was too wet. If a flame does come out, it goes out quickly. Looks like we're not going to be eating snake meat tonight. On the 9th day of the challenge, it's finally a sunny day. For the first time, they felt the sun so warm. The damp wood can now be dried. Try to make the fire today. Frando scraped some bamboo off with a knife. You'll have a much better chance of getting a fire started. It's up to us to eat the snake. Under the constant impact of the firearm, a little spark has lit up. Too bad Frando didn't take his chance. You can't eat food right in front of you. The mood is so low. Day 10 of the challenge. The flesh of the snake looks rotten and stinky. Even if the fire is lit, you can't eat it. Such great food to waste. Everyone thought it was too much of a pity. I don't know if I'll ever meet again. Now the body is really hungry. I really want to swallow it alive. Throw the snake meat as far away as you can. I really don't want to smell that stink anymore. Munsa doesn't think it's a good place to live. You can make a fire with a firearm to keep warm. She doesn't want anything right now, just hoping to light a fire. I don't want to wake up again at night, both physical and mental. I don't think I can make it, because it's not raining. At night the mosquitoes become active again. They had no fire or protection. The mosquitoes can only be constantly repelled by hand. I'm not going to get a good night's sleep tonight. I came to the 11th day in a daze. He's got a lot more bite marks than he did when he arrived. You can imagine how hostile the environment is here. People like Munsa get bitten by mosquitoes all the time. The body won't be able to resist it over time. Frando was rather worried about that. Munsa no longer had the strength to go out and explore. Just lay there and be a little more comfortable. No one's in the best of shape. Don't know what to do next. Munsa was wondering if she should go home to her kids. You're torturing yourself by staying here. She wanted to go back and hug the kids, talking about the emotion that is collapsing. The priority now is to start the fire. If you don't have the basics, Munsa decided there was really no point in staying. Frendo's under a lot of pressure right now. He didn't want Munsa to just quit the challenge. Try your best to light the fire. Otherwise, I don't have to do the next challenge. The ignition went better than expected. Click a few times and say the fire is done. I really won't play until the end. I'm feeling better now that I have a fire. Frando wanted Munsa to hold out a little longer. I'm sure he can get some food back. We'll finish the challenge together. A relatively stable source of food at present. That must be the fish in the stream. I mean, I don't have any tools at all. But he was able to accomplish his dreams with both hands. A fish was caught in a moment. It doesn't look very big, but it's better than nothing, you know. Munsa feels like having a guy like Frando on her team. It was so lucky. Without his encouragement, I'm afraid I've already quit the challenge. Hurry up and clean up the fish. Frando found that the meat quality was very poor. It feels like a puddle of mud. I don't know what it is though, okay, but certainly not in the stomach. Everyone's mood suddenly became low again. What can I do now? I had to go back to the shelter and starve. I've lost a lot of weight since I started. All the muscles in Frando's arms are gone. Not to mention Munsa. I'm so hungry that I have a headache. It's been a long time coming to day 15. Now they're going to get some termites to eat. This is by far the most readily available food. Munsa didn't think she'd end up eating bugs. There's another one that's easier to get in the wild. That's the mushroom that grows after the rain. These look pretty good. Frano, I don't know what kind, okay, but I don't think it's poisonous. Munsa suggests cooking it before eating it. Frendo is really hungry. Don't want to waste time going back to cooking. Munsa knew she couldn't be talked out of it. Let's just hope he doesn't see the little people dancing. Frando thinks it tastes good. It doesn't look like a poison at all. But the joy did not last long. He just felt like his throat was bothering him. The head also began to get very heavy. Good news, didn't eat much herself. It didn't happen right away. The bad news was that the problems didn't start until the next day. The staff came as soon as they could. The situation is pretty bad. All the indicators are out of bounds. He's still running a high fever. You're going to burn your brain out if you keep going like this. Can only lie in the water emergency cooling observation. The staff was there to look after the whole thing. Munsa was so worried when she saw that. If Frando can't fight it, I wouldn't be able to handle the challenge myself. After a period of cooling, I finally got through the most dangerous moment. Now, he can only lie in the shelter to rest. If it happens again, he will be forced to withdraw from the game. The challenge continued on day 18. And Frando isn't getting any better. He's in no condition to make the final evacuation. Munsa had to build the raft as hard as she could. Hopefully it'll save him some energy. The challenge is almost over. Can't you help anything? The mood was pretty low. I don't know if Mensa can finish building the raft. She alone collected and carried materials to the river to build. An already weak body becomes even weaker. I'm just curious. Do they eat bugs during that time? That's a lot of hunger. Before you know it, the last day has come. Frando woke up and threw up again. It is doubtful whether the challenge will be met. I've been relying on Munsa to do the work lately. If you can't do it yourself, I'm so sorry about your partner. And then it's just a matter of willpower, okay? The finished raft looks pretty rudimentary. They lifted it up and put it in the water. At least it didn't sink right away. But there are lizards out there. This last part of the road is really not easy. If you scare it into attacking, you can ask the village to open the table early. They had to swim across on rafts. I hope we don't alarm the animals around us. That's 3 kilometers from the extraction point. Most people swim there for an hour or two. They are also particularly frail. It takes several times as long. I saw a lot of dangerous animals along the way. Every time, I have to wait for them to leave. When I saw the crew boat coming, it also means completing challenges. The mood is quite responsible. The whole time, he was there starving and suffering. Anyway, 21 days. That's a lot better than most people. I don't know how many days you'd last. Let's see what other great gods come up to challenge us.